All right, here we are. Another horror hangout. Let me know if you can hear me out there in the chat. We've got Ariel Fangirl Mendez. We've got my girl Beth from Miss 80s. By the way, if you love horror movie soundtracks, you need to subscribe to her channel. It is amazing. She's constantly uploading cool things that she's ripped from vinyls or that she's found. She's incredible. My buddy Tony Rosa is in the chat. Again, guys, let me know if you can hear me because I have an ongoing issue with my audio on this show. So, absolutely, yeah, give me a confirmation if you can. Thank you, darling darkness. Good to see you. Been a long time. Hope you're doing well. And Becky Gallus. Hi, I'm doing great. So today we've got horror hangout. Horror hangout. There's no rules. It's just you guys and me. We're hanging out. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If you want to ask questions, if you guys want to discuss something, let me know. We're going to talk about it. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like messing with my tech stuff here for just a second. Getting some stuff going. Okay, there we go. Let's see if that works. Bum, 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 bum. So what's going on with you guys? What have you guys been watching? Lulz and I just watched the first episode of Mystery Incorporated, which is a YouTube show that's kind of like, it's kind of like doing for Scooby what Riverdale did for Archie, but I don't know how to say this better. I don't know. I wasn't really into Riverdale, though I do like that Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. But yeah, it's a little more modern. They're teenage. They swear. They do drugs. But you know, it's got Scooby-Doo in it. There's only been the pilot episode so far, but we had a lot of fun with it, and they have so many references to not just the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, but Scooby-Doo and 13 Ghosts, pup named Scooby-Doo. So we were having a pretty good time with that. All right. It's the Gremlins. We are bad mouthing. Oh yeah. Well, what's going on here? Dun 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 dun. Where is that? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right, let's see if we can make that. Okay, so I can't get the chat highlight to work, but oh well. Let's see. The Dude Brothers are here. And Christian Vincent, I haven't seen you in a long time either. How are you doing? Christian says, hey, Gory, I can't wait long. I'm with my son tonight, but I wanted to say I love you guys and show my support. That is so cool. You have a good time with your son. YouTube can wait. YouTube can always wait for your family. You're watching Dark Skies, Becky. Is that the sci-fi movie that's got Kerry Russell in it? Because I have that one on DVD and I think it's really good. Really like that one. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if I can get this to work, maybe. Maybe. Yes! Boom! So good. It's working. Everything's good. I'm really excited today. I'm having a good time drinking some pub beer. I don't have a straw, so I'm gonna get lipstick all over this, but whatever. Nobody's here except for you guys. But you know, you can't see the lipstick, so we're all good. And I swallowed wrong. This is exactly what you guys tuned in to see. Let's see, what's today's shirt? Today's shirt is dun dun dun, Uninvited, my favorite B movie. I love this shirt. I love that movie. Christian is working for Shudder now. No freaking way. And trying to get your son into horror. That is so cool. That's really cool. That's awesome. That's an awesome job. And let's see. And JK's 80s horror fan is here. How's it going? My buddy Kevin from Haunted by Horror is here. It's exciting. There's a lot of us hanging out, talking about horror. So let's see. While I'm waiting for you guys to come up with a topic, or, you know, we don't need a topic. We make our own rules here in the Gory Hole. What have you guys been watching this week? What have I been watching this week? Season 4 of Joe Bob premiered last night. They showed their 100th movie, which was really cool. It was Night of the Living Dead. And they were celebrating Joe Bob's 40th anniversary by showing the first movie he ever reviewed, Anthropophagus. That's a movie Danny showed me a long time ago. And I remember I didn't finish it, but you really should finish it if you're like me and you didn't finish it, because the second half is by far the best part of the movie. But it was super fun to hang out with everybody on Twitter. My friends came over. We had some spooky snacks. Great to see Joe Bob. We're going to talk a lot more about Joe Bob tomorrow. Danny's going to come on the show, and we're just going to talk about everything we love about The Last Drive-In and Joe Bob and how we got into watching Joe Bob on Monster Vision. It's going to be a lot of fun if you want to check that out. Let's see what is going on. Yes, Becky, that's the one. I have that one. It's really cool. Beth likes Joe Bob. Hey, Canadian Jason is in the chat. How's it going? Haven't seen you for a while either. So out of touch. Oh, Tony, you missed Joe Bob? Did you have to work? You can always catch the replay if you missed the last drive-in. They usually post the replay up on Shudder around Sunday. So that's pretty cool. Is Danny going to dress up as Darcy again? Probably not, because even though Danny likes to dress up, he doesn't have a lot of patience for the whole applying the makeup process. So I think he might wear my Joe Bob shirt. He does like to wear that and my bolo, so he might do that. But yeah, it's probably just going to be us being us. Aw, poor Tony. Yeah, if you are ever off on a Friday, Tony, now Becky has been coming over and we've been watching the last drive-in here, so you're welcome to join us. Ariel says she doesn't have AMC Plus. Ariel, if you want Shudder, you don't need AMC. You can get, I think it's like $4.99 a month, and they have like a 30-day trial. Just go to the Shudder.com website. Adam Ward, how is it going? Hey, Zach. Let's see. So I watched the Joe Bob movies. What else did I watch this week? What did I watch? Drawing a total blank. I've been rewatching a lot of Elvira, so I've been kind of going through the 13 Nights of Elvira that she did for Full Moon. So I actually watched Night of the Living Dead twice this week. Not that I'm complaining. And I also watched Trancers for the first time. So Trancers is kind of interesting. It's not a horror movie, but it's got a little bit of Terminator with the time travel. But it was fun. It was fun. I liked it. It was a good Full Moon movie. And Beth says, Ariel, it's super cheap if you buy the whole year too. Definitely my favorite streaming platform. Yeah, that's what we do. We just sign up for a year and then you don't need to worry about it. So that's always nice. Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah, B's here. B, how have you been doing? I haven't seen you for a while. What's new with you, B? Hey, Zachary Heath is here. How's it going? Some good people in the chat tonight. All right, let's see. What else have I been watching? You guys want to talk about? What should we talk about? Guys, give me a topic. Give me something to talk about. Because this is Horror Hangout, so you guys determine what we talk about. If we can suggest a topic, or you can ask me questions, and I'll probably go on a rant like I do on this show. Hey! And yeah, Kevin, there's a lot of discounts out there, Ariel. Like Kevin said, just type it into Google. I know Joe Bob offers a discount over on his website, but you can usually find like a discount code for that too. And my buddy Strange Monkey Reviews is here. He's got a really fun channel. Absolutely, if you guys like, your old school horror host with kind of a crypt keeper sense of humor, definitely check him out. Yeah, Adam, who are your favorite horror hosts? The ones I primarily grew up with was Joe Bob Briggs over on Monster Vision, and before that, Penn and Teller, who ran Monster Vision before him. And then, to a degree, Gilbert Gottfried and I'm drawing a blank on the other, Rhonda Shear, who did USA Up All Night, because they showed a ton of horror movies. They showed other stuff too, but I kind of consider them horror hosts in that respect. And then as I got older, I found Elvira, and I like a lot of the ones that you can now find on YouTube that have been around for forever. Like you can find Count Gordeval on there, and Dr. Gangrene. They're both fantastic. And I know Sven Gulli you can watch over on my TV, and he's also been around for forever. And he was on the last drive-in last night, so that was really cool. And they had his original male girl, Honey, from when he did it on the movie channel, I think it was. I didn't actually watch the one when it came out, but I watch them a lot on their Patreon. I think my first male girl was Rusty over on Monster Vision. Does the Crypt Keeper count? Is what B asked, and I think so. I mean, the Crypt Keeper is telling a story, so he has the intro and the outro, and he makes jokes. And I know a lot of horror hosts on YouTube are inspired by the Crypt Keeper, so yeah, I think the Crypt Keeper counts. And I used to never miss Tales from the Crypt. Like that was part of my big weekend. Was that Monster Vision? I used to really be into Saturday Night Live. That was, that's what I would look forward to. Strange Monkey Reviews. He says, it's time to end the requel trend with the same movie titles as the original. Or is it time? I think so, because I think it makes it very hard to discuss the movies, especially after they've been out. I mean, it's a little easier when you're like, oh, the one in the theater. But then after that, like, an example is Scream 2022. It's really hard to discuss that movie because you need to differentiate it from Scream. So then you end up having to say Scream 2022 or Scream 5 or 5 Cream. It becomes kind of a mouthful, and I would rather they just call it what it is. It's Scream 5. And the other thing with these requels is they're, I guess the same title is part of what makes it a requel, because it's not really a reboot, it's not really a sequel, but for the purpose of the franchise, there really are more sequels. They're more like sequels. They have elements that connect them to the previous movies, and so I think that makes it more of like a loose sequel. I don't think we need to give them the same title. I think it makes it confusing, especially with the Halloween franchise, because you got 3 Halloweens. You got your original Halloween, you got Rob Zombie's Halloween, you got the 2018 Halloween. So yeah, I would prefer, even if they just give it a subtitle, like they've done for some movies, where they give it like a little colon, and then there's the aftermath title. But honestly, I'm fine with them just calling it. I guess, Scream 5 I would rather them just call it Scream 5. But with Halloween, now that one's not really a sequel because they did actually reboot that one. So, I don't know what they could have called that one. What's a good title for Halloween 2018 that's not Halloween 2018? I'm gonna have to think about that. Let me know if you have any in the chat. Peter Vincent, Adam, I'm so happy you said that, because Fright Night and The Craft, the Fright Night is my favorite horror movie of all time. I love Peter Vincent, whose name, he was played by Roddy McDowall, and his name was an homage to Peter Cushing and Vincent Price, who I love both of them, but yeah, I adore Fright Night. Peter Vincent, absolutely, and definitely he says The Crypt Keeper. Ariel wants to know what my favorite vampire movie is. Well, since I just told you what my favorite horror movie is, I think that kind of answers it, but it would be Fright Night. But a close second would be Lost Boys. I also really like Near Dark. I think those are my big 3 of the 80s. I love all 3 of them. Did anyone watch Dinner and a Movie on TBS back in the 90s? I loved that show. My brothers and I, we would watch that, and we would try to kind of throw together something similar to what they were having. And then that inspired us to make sort of like a challenge. We would try to come up with the most disgusting thing that we could watch for the movie we were watching. So we might, if we were watching like Friday the 13th Part 6, with the maggots in Jason's face, we might make rice and then put some green sauce on it. Just something really disgusting to try and gross each other out. So that was really fun. Yeah, Beth also just likes the term requel. I think especially marketing wise, it's gotta be confusing. Yeah, I'm kind of over the whole same title thing. I'm fine with the concept of making something that's sort of a sequel, sort of a reboot. That's fine with me. It's the same title, though, I'm not really a big fan of. Steven, you can't stay. That is absolutely fine, dude. You got life, but I'm so glad that you popped in to say hi. and my friend Arkham Knight Writer, who runs the Crap Movie Collective that they just invited me to. I'm really excited about that. And Arkham Knight is over on Letterboxd too and has a lot of great reviews. That is a good title, Halloween Returns, because it's like the return of the franchise. I would have preferred Halloween Returns to Halloween 2018. So we would have had Halloween Returns, Halloween Kills, Halloween Else Ends. That's solid. I like that. New slasher, please. I do think, as much as I get really excited when I find out that a franchise I'm a big fan of is releasing a new movie. I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends, and I love that Chucky is coming back with a season 2. But I do get excited when I find out that there's a new slasher, like to a degree, I guess Malignant was really fun and exciting, and it had a completely new villain. The thing is when movies do that, even if you're not entirely sure if you're going to like it, because it is a gamble to go and pay for a theater ticket for something that you really don't know that much about, except for maybe a trailer. Movies like X, movies like Malignant. If you want to see new stuff, you vote with your dollar. So absolutely, when movies come like that come out, go to the cinema or pay to rent it. Like, you need to show the studios that this is what you want. And I think a lot of us are doing that. I'm sure Zachary's doing that. And the more we do that, the more we tell the studios, yeah, we want to see some new stuff too. Yes, we all love Halloween. And of course, the mainstream audiences who are not big horror fans, they're still going to go see a Saw or a Halloween. But I think it's up to us hardcore horror fans, when we hear about something that maybe the mainstream might miss out on or might skip over. It's up to us to support it any way we can, whether that be buying the theater ticket or talking about it online. So there's lots of things we can do to support horror movies and to support more original ideas. Ariel remembers watching HBO with all the horror movies. My family, like, if there was a free weekend, I would watch HBO. Mostly, I just watched whatever was on, like, TNT. Being from Kansas, Kevin says he would watch Cremation Mortem. That sounds cool. So is that like a local, like, public access horror show host you watched? And who was the horror show? Who was the host? I would love to hear more about that. B says they should have called it H40. I think they probably wouldn't have done that just because Halloween H2O got so much grief for calling it Halloween H2O, even though it's just Halloween 20 years later. But yeah, I would have preferred H40 to what we got. The night he came home 40 years later. Yeah, you and B are on the same page here. Adam says, yeah, I'm with you, Gory. I'm tired of just straight up naming requels the same name as the first film. And I think it also is just, it lacks creativity, because a really good title sticks with you. And I think you can accomplish that even with a sequel. You can come up with something really creative. I'm sure, I think movies like Scream 2, which is not the most creative title, but it works for what it is. It works really well. Um, but yeah, just I wish they would put a little more thought into it, especially like how it's going to affect the fans who want to talk about it. And with these big franchises like Scream and Halloween, we're gonna want to talk about it. There are whole channels I watch that are just dedicated to Halloween. I know Drum Dums is very excited about Halloween, and my friend Jimmy Champagne is very excited about Halloween. And I've seen how frustrating it is for them to try and, talk about it and still have to differentiate the movies. So it's frustrating. Halloween Returns, I think that's my favorite one that has been suggested so far. Ariel says, yeah, Friday night we'd watch it in TBS asking our mom to make dinner. That's so cool. It's like a family get together. Adam says, I agree. It's definitely for marketing purpose and not to scare off general audiences that don't want to watch the previous film. I think you're right with that one, because whenever you have a franchise and you're trying to lure in that new audience, that younger audience, maybe people who are just now dipping their toe into horror, they're going to be intimidated if it's something like Halloween that has a wealth of sequels already. They're not going to want to have to watch all those, especially if they don't want to watch something that they consider older, maybe from the 80s or something. So I think that is part of why they do it. They're like, okay, yeah, there's going to be tie-ins to the other movies for those of you who've seen those films and love those films, but if you haven't, you can jump on in here. But yeah, I still think they could have called it something different because like H2O did that. H2O was kind of a reboot, but it still had a different title. So I can tell you guys H2O and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to differentiate it from any of the other sequels. Zachary says, I like Bordello of Blood. I love that movie. I like that one, but I also really like Demon. I think I like Demon Knight more. But both of those were so much fun. I saw those in the cinema, and those are movies I really want to cover on the show eventually. Ariel says, am I excited for Hocus Pocus 2? Hell yeah, I am. I'm so excited. It has David Kirshner, who I am a big fan of because of his involvement in the Chucky franchise, which is my favorite slasher franchise. He is working on it. He did come up with the original Hocus Pocus and produced that. I believe he wrote it too, though I could be wrong on that one. But he is working on that one. It's going to come out, I think, on HBO in the fall. And I'm a little curious to see what they do with it because we did get a sequel in book form that came out a while ago that I have on my shelf. So I'm not sure if they're going to go following that storyline or if it's just something completely new. But Hocus Pocus, when it first came out, it really kind of flopped at the box office. And it's something that's become popular with time, with VHS, with DVD, with, home video. And now it's got quite a cult following. They've got multiple Funko Pops. They've got, tons of fan merchandise. I know tons of people who love this movie, who dress up as characters from this movie, who like to talk about this movie. So I absolutely think now is the time for us to get that Hocus Pocus sequel. And I'm so glad that they're doing a sequel and not a reboot because I want to see these characters continue on. And they've got the original performers from the first film. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope that it has just the right amount of actual scary to kind of, lure the kiddies into horror because I'm all about that. Beth says we pick on Lee all the time for bringing up Halloween. Yeah, I've given him a fair amount of grief as well, but he loves it. And when someone loves something like that, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you're talking about Halloween again, huh? But I know I do the same thing with like Buffy and some of the things that I really love. So mostly I'm just really excited that somebody loves something in the horror genre that much. And I love Lee and I love his passion for that franchise. What subgenre, Beth asks, do I think is underappreciated? That's a good question for like everybody in the chat. Underappreciated. I think creature features really get passed over a lot, which is strange because I think one of the horror films that's considered to be a great masterpiece is Jaws. It's 100% a creature feature, but there are so many creature features. Maybe it's just because we've had so many that premiered on Sci-Fi or came out from Asylum that were super low budget, but there are a great number of creature features that I consider to be 5-star films or at least really entertaining. So yeah, creature features gets passed over a lot. There are some other subgenres that I think maybe are a little controversial. Found footage. It has its fans and it has its people who hate it, but I think undeniably we know it has its fans. But and a lot of us like creature features like Critters and stuff, but I feel like it's something that people apologize a lot for. When I think it's a solid subgenre and one I'm usually very excited to see. Sometimes I guess my only reservation is sometimes it doesn't have as much horror as I want with some of them, like the animals run amok ones, but a lot of them are fantastic. I know Idris Elba is coming out with one where he goes up against a lion this year. And so, yeah, those ones are kind of walking the line. Like, is it going to be horror or are they going to go more thriller with it? But there are so many, like Roar. That's a horror film. There's so many that are, just straight up horror films. Also, as far as underrated to the point where I don't see enough of them. And when I hear that there's a new one, I have to see it. Anything to do with witches, I'm going to watch. I don't care if it's low budget, VOD, whatever. I'm always looking for a really good witch movie. Movies that I feel get witchcraft right because it's really hard to find that in movies. And also werewolf movies. I love werewolf movies. It's really hard to find a good one, but it's one of those things that to me it's worth watching, anything I can because you might stumble upon something that is a hidden gem. So I love werewolf movies. And werewolf movies are kind of creature features too, so we're right back to where we started. Zachary Bird says, what about movies that could be considered a horror movie, but they're not officially a horror movie, like Willy Wonka? I think that is an interesting thing to bring up because there are a lot of horror movies, and some of the movies that I've heard from friends and family members that have traumatized people the most are not horror. My mother is a um, big horror fan. The movie that scared her the most, aside from Salem's Lot, was Dumbo as a kid. The pink elephants terrified my mother. Danny can watch anything. You guys know my husband Danny. He can watch anything, but he still to this day will not watch The Dark Crystal, and it's not even a horror movie. He hates puppets. I love puppets. It's one of those things we're trying to work out, but he doesn't like that. He doesn't like Labyrinth. Those kind of things really do scare him. For me, I'm working on it because I now have pet spiders that I think are helping me, but I've always been very arachnophobic. And so even watching a movie like the live action Charlotte's Web, when she drops down from, that one used to really creep me out. But my spiders, Ichabod and Renfield, they're helping me overcome that irrational fear. Spiders are good. They help us out. But and also I think Disney has a lot of genuinely scary moments in a lot of their films. And I think because a lot of us watch those as children, our parents think that they're going to be harmless. There are parts of those movies that stick with us and maybe excite us and get us into horror, or potentially lead to some kind of phobia. Another one, my mom says I was really afraid the first time I saw The Wizard of Oz. Not because of the witch, but she said I was a little freaked out by the munchkins. I think it was like their creepy high voices and the lollipops. I don't know. They're kind of freaky, but now I look at them and I think they look like, little Chuckies. So anyway, moving on. Okay, Kevin says her name was Crematia Mortem. Great name. She was the ghostess with the mostess. The show was called Creature Feature. A lot of them were. She was local, but I think they picked her up in some other regions too. That is so cool. I really wish that I had a local horror host where I was. The most I had was Joe Bob, but Joe Bob was really important to me because my mom likes horror, but there's limitations to what my mom likes. My mom is not a slasher fan. I love anything horror. I mean, truly, there is not a subgenre of horror that I don't enjoy. I love it all. And so, I can't watch slasher movies with my mom. Well, actually, she's coming around to Chucky. But, a lot of people who love horror in my life, they like certain genres of horror, except for, of course, Danny, which is, why he's a terrific husband and terrific best friend, because he loves it all, too. But watching Monster Vision when I was a kid, and I had no friends who liked horror, they thought it was silly. I couldn't share all of what I loved with my family. Watching Monster Vision, knowing that there was people all over the country who were also watching it, I was like, okay, I'm part of this like collective of people who love horror. Maybe we can't see each other or speak to each other, but we're all watching this show right now. And I don't know, made you feel like you're part of something bigger. And now it's even more so with the last drive-in and social media and YouTube and things like this. Getting to talk to all of you guys right now, like if you had told me something like that when I was in high school, that would have blown my mind. Or going to conventions, like getting to just geek out about this stuff with you guys is so much fun, and having you guys receive that and get excited right back instead of just being like, okay, you like some weird movies like a lot of people do. But that's just the greatest thing about being on this platform and getting to meet all of you guys. You guys are amazing, and this is just so much fun. I'm one of those people where if I find out you like horror movies, it's like, so we're best friends now, right? So it's great. B says, I feel like thrillers are not appreciated enough. I love a good thriller, especially if there's a twist. I like thrillers a lot. I feel sometimes like maybe they're not horror enough for some horror fans, but I feel like it's like horror adjacent. Thriller is good for people who are not quite ready for something as intense as like a full-on horror movie. Maybe you want to watch something about a serial killer, but to somebody who's not a horror fan, something like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is going to be probably a lot. but you can start them off with something that considers itself to be a thriller, like Silence of the Lambs. Though, side note on that one, I consider Silence of the Lambs to be a horror because somebody gets their face eaten off in it. So I think it's a horror movie, but especially in the 90s, a lot of horror movies would say, well, it's a psychological thriller, as though that somehow it was like psychological thriller in the 90s was the term for things that were elevated. Like today, we have elevated horror, which I hate that term. It implies that some horror movies that are really, they should be called thematic horror movies. They're about, exploring themes. But somehow they're better than like your creature features, your found footage films. And I don't think they are necessarily better. They're just exploring things in different ways. And in the 90s, for things that took themselves a little more seriously and were fantastic, they didn't want to be linked to horror, so they called them psychological thriller. And I really, for me, that would be why I just don't care for that term. Not necessarily because of the movies, just because of the need of the filmmakers to not be associated with horror. I hate that a lot of filmmakers have this like stigma with horror, and I love horror, so it's hard for me to wrap my head around. No problem, Adam. My brother is in the chat. Zigma, a review. Jaws. Okay, so Jaws is a big movie, a really big movie. I might do it just because it's my mom's favorite movie, so I might do it sometime. But mostly, I try to with this show really focus on B movies, which I consider to be movies that are just kind of overlooked or forgotten because I don't really consider myself to be like a critic. I'm not really trying to like review the movies. I'm trying to tell you like how much love and care went into movies that a lot of people pass over and why they're special and why they deserve maybe a second look or why those of us who are big fans, why we love them. So yeah, I don't consider Jaws to be a B movie by any stretch. That is a flippin' masterpiece. But because it's Mom's favorite, maybe I'll do something eventually. But it probably won't be in all the gory details because there's just so much to include for a movie like Jaws, and a lot of it's already been said. Though I will say, Mom should check out Danny's review of Jaws over on Horror Addicts. It's terrific. Excellent question, Miss 80s. All right. Oops. Dumbo is traumatic, Beth. My mom loves, like, she has Dumbo, but yeah, when she was a kid, it freaked her out, Arkham. Kazam is scary, Tony. See, that's the thing, Kevin. He does have monster face, which I think is a puppet. You think is a puppet. But he says it's not. He says Monster Face is a toy and it's come to life, so it's really more of a member of the family, according to him, not me. Monster Face and I do not get along. Like, if there was an E True Hollywood story about horror addicts, it would probably go into great detail about all the horrible pranks Monster Face has done on me over the years. So, yeah, we don't get along. There's a whole sorority babes in the slime bowl-orama video we did. Totally, like, he's just so hard to work with, He's got so much of that, like, attitude and airs about him. But, Danny loves him, and he doesn't consider him a puppet, and he's not afraid of him. And I'm not afraid of him. I just think he's a dick. That was a little rant. Okay. The damn tornado in The Wizard of Oz traumatized me as a kid, and of course, Arctic's death. And yeah, the Neverending Story is another one that freaked a lot of people out or traumatized them just because of how dark it got. One I really liked, but I know scared a lot of people and was really scary, is Return to Oz. Like, the woman's taken off her head. It's insane. Another one that freaked me out was Watcher in the Woods, which was, again, a Disney movie. And I'm with Arkham Knight. I actually, confession, have never seen Dark Crystal. I haven't had an opportunity to see it. I didn't watch it as a kid, and Danny refuses to watch it with me. But I do love Labyrinth. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. Arkham says, I mean, my mom and I love to go through bargain bins and find horror movies like The Stand, Found, and Army of Darkness. Those are all terrific films. Gory, if the director of Happy Death Day and Freaky, can he direct a horror movie version of Stay Tuned? I absolutely think he can. He is working on a movie this year that he's producing, not directing, called Time Cut, and it's being described as Back to the Future meets Scream. And we already have the casting and stuff for it. It looks terrific, great female cast, great, racially diverse cast. We've got a female director. I'm totally on board with this. Like Scream meets Back to the Future. That sounds really fun. So, and I've loved Freaky. I've loved Happy Death Day. I love Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. So everything that he's done has been really fun. I don't have anyone in my day to day that appreciates horror. So all my YouTube friends and family love talking horror with y'all. Yeah, I think it took me. I had maybe one friend in high school who really liked it, and even when I met Danny, I was really surprised because I hadn't really met that many people who liked horror. Yeah, most of my horror friends are people I've met online, and I'm really glad that we have this so that we can connect with each other and we can build friendships. It's really cool. Fairpoint Station, hey buddy. Gory, have you ever offered a sponsorship or collab opportunity that your gut have I ever been offered a sponsorship or collab opportunity that my gut told me to nope out on? If so, out for the if so, did it turn out in the best? I've never gotten a sponsorship because I've just never been a big YouTuber. But I think the closest we've ever gotten to a sponsorship, I sought out a sponsorship with Sneaky Weasel Beer when I was on Horror Addicts, and they agreed, but we had to pick up the beer ourselves, and they only sell Sneaky Weasel in Canada, so that wasn't their fault. Most of the, I guess, closest thing to sponsorships we've ever gotten is a lot of people want to send you stuff. A lot of people want to send you stuff and have you unbox it on your show. And a lot of times that's really cool. We do the band boxes. We love those. A lot of friends have sent us things that we've unboxed, and I love that. But then every so often you get somebody and you're just like, do you even watch the show? I got numerous people who would just tell me they wanted me to try out their makeup palette or their eyelashes, and I'm just like, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything I do on the show. I don't do makeup tutorials. I don't do any of that stuff. So why would you ask me? And so I would just shut it down. Though I've always said if I ever got another one, I'm just gonna do like Pennywise makeup or something. But I don't really do unboxings on this channel. But if Danny ever gets one, maybe I will. So yeah, I've never really had a sponsorship just because even Horror Addicts isn't big enough, I think, to attract like a sponsorship deal. So I don't even really know how those work, but they're definitely cool if you get them. And as far as boxes that turned out really good, there's one I got that was for horror themed, like lotions and bath supplies, Twisted Allure. And that turned out really good just because now I've been a long time customer. I really love like their, body scrubs and stuff. So I guess that's the closest to, I guess, one that turned out good. And Bambox. Bambox is great. Oops, I just hit my desk. Ariel says, if you haven't heard of Stay Tuned, I have heard of Stay Tuned. I really like that movie. It has John Ritter in it about a TV watcher and his wife who gets stuck on TV, and we know all the deals with the devil. Yeah, I really like Stay Tuned. My mummy wants an in-depth look of An American Werewolf in London. There is a special edition of that came out, so I'm hoping to get that. But when I do, I would really love to do that one. That's another one that I consider to be a masterpiece. But I'm really surprised with American Werewolf in London that there are so many people who haven't seen it. And I'm talking like big horror movie fans. I know like Ryan Hollinger, who I follow, only watched it in the last year. So even though I don't consider it like a B movie, it fits the kind of the criteria of this channel, and that a lot of people, even horror people, haven't seen that movie, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. So that will probably happen, Mummy. What's the most disappointing film I've watched so far in 2022? Um, Disappointing's hard because what disappointed me the most may not be like what I consider to be the worst film of the year. Like I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre and I didn't expect it to be good. So I was pleasantly surprised that it was enjoyable. Honestly, probably the biggest disappointment of the year was Scream, and I like it. It's not that I didn't like it. I just the trailers looked so good, and everybody, especially when it first came out, was saying like it's even better than their original. People really hyped it up so much. And when I watched it, like I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I really wanted to be part of that and to love it with everybody else. But I didn't, so I was disappointed because I I don't know. I don't like not enjoying things as much as other people. I'd rather be somebody who cheerleads a horror movie than be the person who is the party pooper and didn't enjoy as much as everybody else. The Movie Massacre Show. Hey, just stopping by for a few minutes playing tennis with the wife. Enjoy. And the Friendly Neighborhood Transgender Vampire. Hello, that name is a mouthful, but you know what? I feel like I know everything I need to know about you already. How are you doing? And I want to know, what is your favorite vampire movie and who is your favorite vampire? Zachary Haith. Also, I just watched a transgender vampire movie. You should watch Bit if you haven't seen it already, because when I think transgender vampires, I think that's the only one I know. But there are probably more, and if there are, let me know. Zachary Haith says, I was watching Troll on repeat while other watched Labyrinth. Never-ending Story and Dark Crystal. Yeah, I need to watch the Dark Crystal. I need to find out why Danny is so freaked out by it. But I like Troll. I love Labyrinth, and I really like the Never-ending Story. Hey, Fairpoint Station, how's it going? Also, guys, we are nearing 2K on this channel, and I know from my analytics, like half the people who watch the show are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed and you want to help me, expand the reach of this channel so more people can watch videos and join us, the chat, absolutely subscribe and ring that notification bell so when I decide to just go live for no apparent reason, that you know. And if you want to throw a like in there too, just to make me happy because my birthday's coming up, I'm not going to tell you not to. Hey, it's Annie. Is it Annie? I can't tell from that picture. Annie, is that you? Friendly Neighborhood Transgender Vampire? I hope so. I love Annie. Do I have a horror movie recommendation? Well, I'm going to recommend Uninvited. About the cat that pukes up a smaller cat, because I always recommend that movie because I love that movie. But Ariel, give me some more specifics. Like, what kind of subgenre you want? Do you want like a killer cat movie, a killer baby movie? Do you want a witch movie? As far as a movie not enough people have seen that I really love, it's one of my favorites, is The Final Girls that came out, I think 2015. I love that movie, so I'll recommend that. Annie, is that you? Let me know. Fairpoint Station, horror beauty girls could be big. You should totally do it. I'm just not that. I'm definitely not a beauty guru. I know what little I know from watching really great people on YouTube, and I like that, but I definitely don't consider myself to be somebody who's particularly adept at applying makeup. So I'm certainly in no position to be making videos teaching people how to do it. It would literally be me just, smearing stuff in my face. Though I did do really good roller derby makeup back in the day. So, maybe like horror movie makeup I could do. Take a palette and just make a horror movie character out of it, or try. But there are great YouTubers who actually know what they're doing, who are already doing that. I know Mother Mayhem has a channel where she's done that, and Glam and Gore. There are great ones out there. So you don't need me. Don't join the beauty space. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but I'm happy where I am in the horror space. So I don't think I'll be going anywhere. Are there any celebrities in the horror community that horror community members warn each other about, either because they're inappropriate or difficult to work with? If so, feel free to leave out names. Celebrities, so people that like people interview and such. Everything I've ever experienced with interviewing celebrities and everything I've heard from friends who've interviewed celebrities, like, Night Watch Zone just interviewed Melanie from Friday 5. Usually everyone says that they're super sweet. And I found that at conventions too. Just about everyone I've met has been really, really nice. So I can't think of any, but if I do, I'll let you know. Bye, Movie Massacre! Troll is legit. Almost as good as Troll 2. Hey, B, I just watched a movie last year called Cyst, and it has the guy who played the dad in Troll 2 in it, and he's a mad doctor. It was pretty cool. It was actually really good. It is Annie! Hi, Annie! I love Annie. Good to see you. And Annie, you should watch Bit. I think you'd like it, if you haven't already. Ariel, thanks for letting me meet David Price, the director of Children of the Corn 2 and of Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. Yeah, he was in our chat for I think the horror hangout before last one. I've been emailing them, trying to get them on the show for like a stream. I even ordered a cigar because I know Mark Jones loves cigars. So hopefully that works out. No hurry, but if they happen to have some time, I think that would be really fun. But it was fun hanging out with them in the chat. Annie! My favorite subgenre is live action mix between animation and horror. So I know you love Evil Tunes. I'm trying to think if there's something else like that adds animation. I mean, I know some things that combine like claymation or digital effects, things like Subspecies. Off the top of my head, I can't think of too much. Though one of my favorite movies is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Not a horror movie, unless you count that scene where Doom kills the Toon Shoe. That's horrifying. What is Ichabod's favorite horror movie? Let's take a look. Ichabod. Okay. So this is Ichabod's home, and she is asleep. So I don't know, but I would imagine it's Sleepy Hollow just because she was named after it. What was the movie I was watching when I found her? I was watching a movie when I found her. I don't know. I think I was watching Puppet Master when I found her. Maybe that's her favorite movie. She did watch the whole thing. My mummy is in the chat. Do you remember you dragged us to America? I do. You dragged us to American Werewolf in Paris on Christmas Day when it should have been home roasting chestnuts and eating. Yeah, I remember that. So that was a movie I was super hyped for because I love American Werewolf in London. And this is the 90s, so there wasn't a whole lot on the internet, but it had a website and it did show that it had connections to characters from American Werewolf in London. Then Bush released that Mouth music video that was really cool, and I loved that song. The trailers were so good. It had Tom Everett Scott, whom I really enjoyed from other movies like That Thing You Do. So I was so excited. And the first like 20 minutes were really good. But yeah, I made my mom take us on Christmas Day to go see it. First 20 minutes were really good. And then I remember being really disappointed. But I've kind of come back around to liking it despite its flaws in sort of a cheesy movie way. It's the new Sist movie. It's out. Sist came out, if we're thinking of the same one, last year that has the guy from Troll 2 in it. So that's been out for a while. Absolutely. Check it out. Hey, Annie. I see you. Ariel, my horror movie recommendation is Malignant and Night Teeth Gore. I have seen both of those. Night Teeth was slick looking. Like the visuals in that were so good and had some really great world building. And I love that Megan Fox was in it. Really enjoyed that one. And Malignant was my favorite horror movie of last year. I love that movie. It's so much fun. I really need to get that in 4K. Mandy of the Living Dead, welcome. Mandy asks if you had to pick a cast of horror hosts to give you a roast. To roast me? Well, you'd have to get Danny Nightmare from Horror Addict, so he's my husband and he knows me better than anybody. To roast me, Dr. Wolfula is probably my favorite horror host on YouTube, so that would be an honor. I would love that. Confused Reviews is hilarious and just great at roasting everything, so you need Confused Reviews in there. Brandon Tenold, also good at roasting things. I guess I would probably pick a lot of the people who do like those commentaries where they kind of roast the movies. So those would be some good people for sure. Probably some more that I can't think of. And then maybe throw in just some people who know me really well who could come up with some pretty funny jokes. You can get my brother to roast me. I'm sure he could do that. Zigma51. Do you have a recommendations for a badass witch movie? I mean, besides the usual The Craft or The Witches. For badass witches, I mean, I love Practical Magic. That's not a horror movie per se, but it's one of the movies that really does get witchcraft right for the most part. Like, I think that one's really good. Pyewacket was a good one that not enough people saw. I liked Cherry Tree. That one was really good. I thought that not a lot of people saw that one. I think that one might be on Shudder. Oh, let's see what else. I love The Witch by Robert Eggers. I think a lot of people saw that one, but I really like it. More witch movies. I like Teen Witch. Totally not accurate at all, but fun. So much fun. um, but yeah, as far as ones people have missed out on, Cherry Tree, Pie Wacket are the two that come to mind that I think are pretty good. I would recommend those. And I want to see more. I want to see more just badass witch movies. I've seen a lot of really disappointing ones. A lot of the VOD ones just haven't been quite what I was hoping for. So, I think it's such an untapped genre. We haven't seen that much in the way of like, presenting witchcraft as it actually is. We haven't seen a lot of just badass witch heroes. Um, there's so many interesting stories to explore. So I absolutely think that it's something we need to see more of. Another one that it's dude witches. It's cheesy, but I like it. Is The Covenant. Ooh, witchy. I like that one. It's cheesy though. Ariel says mine was a live action mix between Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Cruel World is Good, and Osmosis Jones. Mix. There you go. Yeah, those are good. The black thing behind me with the red dot is looking into my soul. That is JW, my spider pillow. Kirby was sleeping there earlier, but he's gone. But yeah, that's JW, the spider. I now have a chair in here because this room's really small, and so Danny never visits me because there's no place to sit. Now there's a place to sit! How's that? I think I just shouted. Elvira Crypt Keeper? I don't know what you're referring to, but that sounds awesome. Sist has the voice of Beerus in it. I did not know that. I don't know who Beerus or Beavis? Beavis? Mike Judge? Maybe. Cool World. Yeah. So back when we used to have mom and pop video stores, we had a few that I really enjoyed here in town. One was Vital Video. That might be the one I'm thinking of, but unfortunately, a lot of them had to shut their doors. And so I went there when they were closing shop, and they'd always had this not poster, they had always had this clock that says Hollywood. And inside the O of Hollywood was the clock. And then there was Hollywood from Cool World. So it was a Cool World clock. And that was really cool. I always really liked that. And then the clock, I ended up seeing it at a thrift store here in town. And I think it was with my mom when I was there. But yeah, she got it for me, and I still have it to this day. It's awesome. You have a new girlfriend? And you told me in a chat? What? My brother has a new girlfriend. Cool. All right, let's read about her new girlfriend. My new girlfriend is a witch. That's so cool. She's a keeper. You should marry her. I love her already. And would like to know which witch movie I recommend. She is watching too. Oh, hey, new girlfriend. What's her name? How's it going? We're already besties. Obviously, The Craft. The Craft is incredible. Then Practical Magic. Then Robert Eggers' The Witch. And if you want to get obscure, like I said earlier, check out Cherry Tree. It's really good. Ariel says, here are my picks for upcoming horror of 2022. Hocus Pocus 2, Scooby-Doo Holiday Haunt, looking forward to that, and Day Shift starring Jamie Foxx. I haven't heard of that one. I'm really looking forward to the Salem's Lot remake that's coming out, and they just showed a trailer for that at the CinemaCon, and the word is that it looks good. Really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends, looking forward to Time Cut, and The Black Phone, which just released a second trailer, but I have a general rule. I don't watch trailers after the first one, but I've heard it looks really good. The second trailer, that is. And I thought the first one looked amazing, so I'm really excited to see that. And then there's a movie called Dark Harvest that's based on a book. I think that sounds really interesting too. But yeah, I did a video on my most anticipated of the year. All those movies sound incredible. And one of them I actually got a screener for, and I just need to sit down and watch it. But it was for uh, the found footage one I talked about. I got a screener for that one, so I'll have to check that out. Mandy of the Living Dead says, I want a lethal, badass scarecrow witch or witch with werewolves as her harem. That's cool. Hey, you know what? There was witches in that Mystery Incorporated show that's on YouTube. they have the Hex Girls in it, and the Hex Girls do actual witchcraft. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Vital Video, so you know that one too? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a smaller chain, but we had a couple Vital Videos in town. I love Vital Video. There's something about just being able to walk the aisles and see the cover art on movies and to just, spend a couple bucks and take a chance on a film. And sometimes you'd find something really cool. I've had that with Blockbuster, Vital Video, and some of those posters and box art cases, they stick with you. I miss that. I miss that a lot. Fair point. Have you ever started watching a horror film that was obviously trying to shock the audience that it totally turned you off and you couldn't finish it? Yeah. I've seen a lot of horror movies that have tried too hard. I think that's what you're talking about. I've never turned one off. I always finish the movie. I can't not finish the movie. Even if I fall asleep, I will first thing in the morning watch it because I try to give things a chance. I've watched some movies that I thought were not to my taste. And then sometimes they have a really cool ending. Like if I can find something I like about it, something to appreciate it, I like that. So I try to give movies a chance and watch them all the way through. But one I really hated, and I did finish it, was Night of Something Strange. It was just too gross and unnecessarily gross. And the humor was not funny. It was poorly written, poorly acted. The practical effects were good, which is the only thing I really appreciated about it. But like I had a guy eating a tampon. It was about zombies. And it used rape for comedic effect. So that one was a massive miss for me. But you could tell it was like a 12-year-old trying to be edgy, trying to be offensive, and it was just really annoying. My mom, Nettie, says, "Do you like the spider in The Incredible Shrinking Man? I think Ichabod would love it." I have two spiders now. I have Ichabod, who's asleep. Is she asleep? Yes. And Renfield, who is also asleep. So Renfield, I think you can see. Let's see. So this is Renfield's house. If you guys want to see my spiders, this is Renfield's house. And then, yeah, Renfield she's sleeping right there, but I don't want to bug her, so I'm going to put her back. Do I like the spider in The Incredible Shrinking Man? Since I've progressed with kind of overcoming my arachnophobia to a degree, I haven't watched it since then. So I think me and the spiders, we need to just have a day where we watch that movie again. And I loved it before, but I'm sure we will all enjoy it so much more now. She probably would like it. Ben Grimm's in the house. Hey, yay, Ben and B. I haven't hung out with them together in a long time. Love from Texas Frightmare Weekend. That's so cool. I've always wanted to go to Texas Frightmare, and usually it conflicts with Crypticon. And I also, only have so much money, but yeah, Crypticon is coming up at the end of May, so I'm really looking forward to that one. B and Ben together again. Fairpoint Station says, "Remember the tiny video rental section at Safeway?" Yeah, ours still has that, and I think they still rent movies. I don't know. I know they sell movies. Do they still rent movies? Maybe they don't. I don't know. I haven't looked. Found some super weird horror there back in the day. Yeah, Safeway would have some weird stuff. Centipede? Who's talking about centipedes? I don't know. Oh, the voice of Beerus. He was in The Walking Dead, Gory. Jason Douglas, he was in Dragon Ball Super, and he's in Cyst. Oh, that's cool. I actually haven't watched a whole lot of Dragon Ball. I have them all because Danny and Lols are big fans, but I have seen the original Dragon Ball. I haven't watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, but I should. I know it's really good, and I haven't finished The Walking Dead yet, so I need to do that too. There's a lot of things I need to do. I always loved the movie Cool World because Hollywood was the anti-hero next to Helen Hyde. Yeah, I think Cool World's really fun, and I don't know. I don't think enough people have seen Cool World, but we have it. It's awesome. Oh, the love between B and Ben is a beautiful thing. We should all have such awesome friends. Aw, B and Ben. Hey, Ben. Oh, now I'm all caught up. Yeah. Let's see how long. Oh my gosh, it's already been an hour. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if I've gotten any new subscribers. Okay, I've gotten 2 new subscribers. So for every new subscriber I get, I will add on, I don't know, I'll add on another 5 minutes. So we'll at least stream for another 10 minutes here for our new subscribers, which is super cool. That's awesome. You worked for the man at Blockbuster? I had a friend who worked at Blockbuster. That was super cool because he would hold if you remember at Blockbuster, they would have like a whole wall of like whatever the new release is. And if you wanted to see that movie, it was usually hard to get. You know, you'd have to wait or wait. But I had a friend who, if he caught one, he'd hold it aside for me. So it was pretty nice. A horror movie that grossed you out. Oh, Centipede Human Centipede. Mom, you watched Human Centipede? Mom, you're ballsy. I heard you watched Jackass Forever too. Dang, Mom. A horror movie that grossed me out. Night of Something Strange grossed me out. That's the one that's probably grossed me out the most. I didn't like that one. Cyst grossed me out, but in a fun way. Sometimes I like to be a little grossed out. What's going on with my hair here? I don't know. Arkham says, have you seen any shows and movies in the Transformers franchise? I've seen the first 3, I think, but the best Transformers movie is the one from the 80s. You know, you got the touch, you got the power. Love that shit. That movie was amazing. We used to watch that. Me and my brothers used to watch that on loop like all the time. It was so good. Now I want to watch that movie. It was so good. Elisa. Hey, Elisa. That's so cool. I like that name. Your girlfriend. Why did you get a girlfriend and you didn't tell me you had a girlfriend? What the heck, dude? We need to talk about this later. She's asking, ask about Animalville Curse movie, not the horror one. The Animalville Curse movie that's not, there's an Animalville movie that's not a horror movie? I don't know. Amityville is one where there's a lot of Amityville movies, but I don't know. I don't consider them really to be part of the franchise. I know Cool Duder is making an Amityville, why can't I say that word? Amityville Karen movie this year. I mean, these are Amityville dolls, Amityville, there's Amityville everything. And honestly, I haven't watched a majority of them. Hey, Dino, good to see you. Always a pleasure, man. Mandy of the Living Dead. Being trans, I think this has a ton to do with why I love werewolves. You know, that is there's a movie actually that's exploring werewolves as like a metaphor for trans. And it's called Transform. Female director. It's supposed to be coming out in the next year or two, but definitely check out Transform because I'm surprised that hasn't been done before. But yeah, they say I love werewolves so much. They are way cooler than vampires. I agree. I love vampires too, but I have a special spot in my heart for werewolves. I also wrote a book about werewolves that eventually I need to get the courage to just send out and try to get published or just publish myself. But I love, love, love. Ariel, did I subscribe to your channel? I think so. Let me double check. Let's see. Am I subscribed to Ariel's channel? We're going to find out right now. Dun, 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 dun. And if I get any new subscribers, yeah, I am subscribed, Ariel. Oh, do you have a new one? Because there's Ariel McFangirl Mendez too. Well, I'll subscribe to that too. Yeah, if we get new subscribers, we will extend the stream for 5 minutes for every new subscriber. So last I checked, we were at 1,875. 2 more. That's another 10 minutes. So where were we? I gotta write this down because I don't remember things well. Okay, so we had already extended to 8:18 for the last ones. So now we will go to 8:28 because we got 2 new subscribers. So exciting. All right, this might actually work out. I've seen people do these like subscribe-a-thons before, and I have nothing planned tonight. So if we get more subscribers, we can absolutely hang out a little bit longer. And if you guys are sick of me, we can end the stream too. That's fine. My friend Kevin says, I had a friend that worked at Blockbuster and they would throw out extra copies when stuff wasn't a new release anymore, and he would give me all kinds of free DVDs. That's crazy. I worked at Hastings in the video department, and yeah, we would have like a surplus of them, but we would send them we would repurpose them to be sold as used movies. That's crazy that they would just throw them away. But the cool thing about working at Hastings is we would get to watch a lot of the rentals before they were released. So that was cool. Arkham owns all 5 Bay Transformers movies and the original 80s movie. I need to finish watching them. They're not really like, I'm not a big like action movie kind of gal. But you know what I did enjoy in the Transformers franchise as far as the live actions? I liked that Bumblebee movie. That was super cute. And I love John Cena, so that was fun. Hey, speaking of which, yes, Bumblebee. Bumblebee was great. Cool Duder peaked back in the Around the Town days. I don't know. I'm still subscribed to him. I like him. But yeah, it's cool that he's making horror movies now. Ow, 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 ow. All right, there we go. Got the knots out of my hair. Oh, she's talking to Arkham. Okay, Zigma says, tell Elisa to log on and subscribe. Elisa, my new friend, you know, we're obviously both witches. We're probably going to form an awesome coven. We're obviously, you know, going to spend so much time together and be super best friends and eat french fries together. And you're going to play with my spiders and we're going to do witchcrafts. You might as well just subscribe now. I feel like I already know you. You should just subscribe. You should subscribe. And then we'll have another 5 minutes of stream. Mandy says, and by the way, thank you, Mandy. Mandy, I don't know if you've been here before, if it's your first time or not, but I'm having a lot of fun talking to you. Like, that's what I like about these Hangout streams, is because sometimes when I have like a guest on, my first priority with a guest is to make them feel at home, you know, to make them feel comfortable. And I'm really working hard to take care of them. And I do check in on the chat, but my guest is always my first priority. And on other people's channels, it's not really my place to talk to the chat that much. It's more of what they're doing. So it's nice to just have these streams where my only focus right now is you guys. And so I get to make new friends. And yeah, I notice when I see you guys, you know, come back stream after stream, and it's like we're building that friendship, we're building that relationship. A lot of you, I know a lot about you. I know what movies you like and what you do, you know, with your love of movies, if you post reviews on Letterboxd or YouTube. So some of you I've even watched movies with. So yeah, a lot of you have become really good friends, and so I'm always excited when somebody like Mandy here is talking to me, hanging out with me. So I appreciate it. Mandy says, oh, I know, honey. I used to be dude. No flipping way. I'm well aware I'm preaching to Wolf Queen Gory. Oh, so Mandy, we go way back. Dude Gory. That's so cool. All right, so it's not a new friend. It's an old friend in disguise, just like Annie here. Not so this is the new girlfriend. Oh, she's cute. Hi, new girlfriend. Just wanted to say hi. I didn't even know he was going on dates and stuff. What? That's so cool. Hi, Elisa. We're gonna be super best friends. I cannot wait for us to hang out. Oh my goodness, you should come over and hang out. It'll be super fun. We're gonna have so much witch stuff to talk about and witch stuff to do. We have a lot to do, Elisa. I'm excited. Looking forward to it. Ariel, I tried to take out that old YouTube channel a long time ago, Gory. Yeah, I know how it is when you're trying to like start fresh or move on. I still have people who don't know that I don't edit the videos in Horror Addicts anymore. I mean, I'm on there as a guest, but that is Danny's channel. He runs it. He determines the content. He edits it. I am just there as a guest, and I have my own separate channel that I run. I edit, and you know, we have our own separate things. But yeah, there's still people who think that I just do Horror Addicts and nothing else, even though I've had this channel for a while. Though, in all fairness, I've only really started focusing on creating new content and new streams, you know, this year. I've kind of just gotten, I think at the end of last year, I kind of decided to give it a real go and start putting out content. It's frustrating because there's so many movies I want to talk about. And in my head, I think I'm never going to be able to talk about all of them. But, you know, even if I just get to talk about a few, I think it's worth it and worthwhile. And mostly I just missed hanging out with you guys. So I'm glad that I'm kind of back in this sphere and that we're hanging out again. When did I work at Hastings? I worked at Hastings. I remember I worked there right after the millennium. It was one of my earliest jobs in 2000. And I was an assistant video manager for a couple years, about 2000 to 2002. Bye, Arkham. We'll hang out later, talk on Discord, talk about the Crap Movie Collective. I'm excited. Dun, 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 dun. Ariel. I remember going to Blockbuster Video in the 2000s, listen to the same song that was on Radio Disney and renting family movies at, yeah, Blockbuster, yeah, they had a lot of songs there, but at Hastings, we would always play Happy Trails at the end of the night, and I still hear that song in my head. You know, Happy Trails to you. Oh boy. That actually, it would be annoying sometimes, but sometimes I'd just be like the sweetest sound because I meant you were going home soon. B, my girl. B, I miss you. We need to watch a movie together soon. I miss B and Ben and I and some others. We used to watch movies together. It's been a long time, but like I said, I'm finally kind of reorganized and doing things again. So we need to watch some movies again. I miss that. Get me in on that French fries date. Love everything taters. Absolutely. Girl, you are always welcome here. And I will always have French fries for you. Also, my dad, my father-in-law, gave me a new air fryer. It makes the most amazing French fries. So yeah, come on over. Let's have fries. Ben. I worked at Blockbuster when they switched from VHS to DVD. They had us throw it. Oh, that hurts my heart. We took on boxes of ones we wanted first. Yeah, I remember when Blockbuster was switching over. The last thing, I think the last VHSs I bought was when Scream came out. There was a set of 3 special editions that had Nev Campbell, Drew Barrymore, and Courtney Cox on the cover art. I bought all 3 of those at Blockbuster. I think that was the last VHSs I bought. All right, so we're at 8:15. We're going to go to 8:28. Let's check out our subscribers, see if we've got more. Last I checked, we are at 1,000. I'm going to write that down too so I remember. 1,877. Give it a refresh. Where are we at now? 79. Wow. Okay, so it's 1,879. So that's another 10 minutes. 7, 8. Yeah, I can count. So we're going to go to 8:38. Wow. Actually, let's just round up because, well, no, it can stay 8:38. That's fine. It doesn't have to be an even number. Thank you guys for subscribing. That is really cool. I really appreciate just the support. And I mean, everyone in this community is so nice. Like, it means a lot to me that you guys are taking time out of your Saturday and you're just hanging out with me and talking movies with me. That means a lot to me. It always makes me happy, even when I go onto somebody else's stream and I recognize somebody else in the chat. Like, it's just, it makes you feel good. It makes you happy. And yeah, I really value and appreciate you guys. And I value anyone who takes time out of their day to watch something that I made. That's really special to me. So to all of you who I know have done that, just a big thank you. Thank you so much. Witches are more powerful together. Absolutely, Mandy. Absolutely. Oh, talking to Ben. Celebrating Beltane. Yes. So yeah, I'm celebrating Beltane. I do a little bit of Beltane stuff on Easter just because Easter stole so much of Beltane from us. Like, I love to ask people who aren't witches, like, so explain to me the eggs thing and the rabbit thing, and they don't usually have an answer. But we witches, oh, we have an answer. It's all about that fucking, and it's all about new life. So eggs for new life, bunnies because they are the fastest reproducing animal, and Beltane is all about being happy that there's new flowers and new animals and just new lots of things. So I love Beltane. Beltane's one of my favorite festivals of the year. And I also, as far as horror movie recommendations, it's also a witch movie. I'm going to recommend The Wicker Man to you, Elisa. That is my favorite. It's not specifically Beltane, but it's very Beltane in that they have like the maypole and all that stuff. And definitely the themes of it are very Beltane. So that is my favorite Beltane movie. And then, I don't know, Midsummer is more of a summer solstice, but I like that one too. Ariel, so we've been planning for Friday the 13th, like watching Scream on Paramount. For Friday the 13th, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think I know we have a Friday the 13th coming up. And I think what I'm going to do, because there are a lot of movies that I don't necessarily consider to be B movies, so they're not something I would do in all the gory details on, but I want to talk about them. And the Friday the 13th franchise has a lot of those kind of movies. So I thought, leading up to Friday the 13th, whether it's in May or June, I have to double check which one, I was going to do a live stream, like an hour live stream for each movie in the franchise. leading up to actual Friday the 13th, where I would rank all the movies. I think that sounds really fun. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys are down for that idea, because a lot of these movies, like the Friday the 13th, I feel like a lot of us know the trivia and stuff, and so you don't need me to do in all the gory details. I think we just want to I just want to talk about the movies with you, like what we liked about it, what we didn't like, and maybe if it's not one of your favorites, you'll find something new to appreciate. Maybe if it's not one of mine, I can see it from a different perspective. Though I love all those movies, so I think it would just be fun just to geek out and talk about Jason with you guys and Mrs. Voorhees. Yeah, all right. Just trying to make sure that I've covered all my Friday the 13th there. Yep. Yeah, I'm old. I'm old like the dirt, Fairpoint Station. Mandy of the Living Dead, Fairpoint. Oh, talking to Fairpoint. I'm not going to eavesdrop on your conversations. Gory, do I remember Mouse Hunt? You know what I really remember is Mouse Trap. That's a fun game. My brother Dusty, who's Sigma51 in the chat, he would love setting up the whole Mousetrap game. I think we had more fun playing with the Mousetrap than actually playing the game, because that's the best part of the game. But yeah, I know Mouse Hunt, that's the movie. It was like a kid's movie back in the day. Had the guy who did the voice in Lion King in it. Yeah, it was pretty good. I crave more new slasher movies. I love the slow burns as much as the rest, but my bread and butter is always slasher. Mandy, I'm going to absolutely recommend for this year, check out X. It was absolutely, fun. It's original. It throws back just enough to slashers we love, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and such, but it's still its own thing. And I thought it was pretty good. Or fun, cheap movies. Mandy, you're in the right place, because I love fun, cheap movies. Me and my buddy Tony, who was here earlier, we have a cheesy movie club. And so we're always trying to just top each other with just the cheesiest movies. And the next time I post a review, I've decided that my rating system, it's just cheese. I'm just going to tell you guys how cheesy it is, because it's more important to me to talk about the movies, not criticize them and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm just going to compare movies I talk about to cheese. So it could be stinky cheese. Could be processed cheese. Could be holy cheese, like Swiss cheese. Could be a cheese slice. I don't know. It depends on the movie. We're going to get creative with it. There are some really cool bats outside my window. That's cool. I'm distracted. Bats for me, I guess, are like squirrels. Yeah, squirrel, bat. Canadian Crypt. Hey there. I think, yeah, I saw one of your, did I see one of your streams? I might be getting you mixed up with another channel, but welcome and thanks for stopping by. And Danny, my wife is great. Give her a thumbs up. Thank you, hon. That is Danny from Horror Addicts. He also has his own channel where he posts like a lot of wrestling stuff. And yes, please give us the thumbs ups. First you get the thumbs ups, then you get the power, then you get the monies, then you get the power, and then you take over the world. I mean, at least according to Danhausen. So let's start with those thumbs ups. Past that maple syrup. Yes, I love Canada. We're in Washington State, so Canada for us is like, they're our neighbors. Well, Canada's massive, so that's not fair to say, but definitely BC. They are our neighbors. High Ground Cantina, original Wicker Man or Nick Cage, not the bees. I think the Wicker Man, the original, it's a masterpiece. It's a classic. Well ahead of its time in a lot of ways, and genuinely scary. It has some terrific themes. I also proof positive that elevated horror, the term people use to describe movies that are very thematic and deep and that have a lot of themes to explore. It's nothing new. The Wicker Man did it phenomenally back in the 70s. However, I'm not gonna lie, I love that Nicolas Cage, not the Bees movie. Seeing Nicolas Cage punching out women, dressing up as a bear, that shit's funny. Thank you, Mandy. So I was in the middle of fall and went to Blockbuster Video renting Child's Play 2, and I was so excited for Halloween. I remember when Child's Play 2 came out, and I was too afraid to see which is weird because Child's Play is my favorite slasher franchise, but I didn't watch those right when they came out. I saw the posters at the video store, and it really scared me. And Child's Play 2 came out, and they had bumper stickers, and my friend brought one home with her. And we were both looking at it and we were just completely freaked out. I don't remember when I actually came around to watch them. I think I was like, I don't know, like 12 or 13 when I finally watched them. And I love them. But yeah, just the look of Chucky used to scare me. A blue spanner. What's a blue spanner? I don't know. Mom, what's a blue spanner? Tell me. Ariel says, hi, Danny. Danny is over at, we have like this retro collective store. It's really cool. They have old VHS, old video games, figurines, but they always show a movie on the weekends. And he's actually there checking out Alien right now. So that's really cool. Fairpoint. Before my time, only a couple years ago, I worked there. Yeah, a couple years before. Yeah, Heavy Trails is definitely, it gets burned into your brain. Zigma, do you have any horror board games? Not sure Gory has enough want from her fans to make a video on them. Let me know if you guys want to see me play horror board games. I have one that's got a lot of classic Universal monsters in it. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. We have the Evil Dead game. We have the Guar game. We have a ton of Scooby-Doo games. I have two Buffy the Vampire Slayer board games. We have I Want to Bite Your Finger, which actually does hurt. It has a sharp thing in it that pokes your finger. I don't know. We have so many horror board games. If you guys want to see us play a horror board game either on this channel or Horror Addicts, absolutely let me know. We can do that if you guys want to see it. Like role-playing games. Role-playing games are a whole other ball of wax. I think the only ones I have are the Buffy role-playing games. I don't know if I would do a role-playing game on a stream. I feel kind of goofy, but I do like that. Damn it, you gorgeous witch of a woman. I can only love so much. I need more for other people too. Oh, I love you too, Mandy. Hugs. Oh, hey, Lee. That's funny. Lee knows why it's funny. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Gory, do you enjoy living in Washington? If so, what do you love the most? I love Washington. I grew up in England, and in England, a lot of the wilderness and wildlife are preserved, so it wasn't unusual to see like foxes in your backyard or to see a badger or hedgehogs. And what I love about Washington is we have that here. You know, we have deer and we've had a moose come into town, but there's lots of wildlife. Outside my window right now is a beautiful mountain. But what I love the most about Washington is just the diverse landscape. We have a rainforest. I think we're the only state, at least on the main continent, that has a rainforest. We have the whole rainforest. We have rivers. We're right by the ocean. So we have beaches. We have, cities that are very humid and get a lot of rain. Like Seattle, we have places where I live that are extremely dry and mountainous. We have plains areas. There's so much to see and do here. We even have a little mock Stonehenge. So I love Washington. I want to check out more of the United States because haven't actually seen a lot of states. I've never been to the East Coast. Would love to see Florida. That just sounds like a completely different world from where I live. But I love Washington. I love all the trees and the nature and stuff here. And Canadian Crypt, saw you guys caught Guar on their last tour. A buddy and I caught them in Vancouver. My husband is a massive Guar fan. He is such a Guar fan that if Guar markets anything, like they have weed, vape juice, whiskey, barbecue sauce, he's bought it all. He went over to the East Coast for Odoris's Viking funeral. He is that obsessed. We always see Guar when they come to Washington. Sometimes they do just Seattle, sometimes Spokane and Seattle. We've been seeing them every year since Odoris was still around, like for as long as we've been together. So this is our 10th year being married, and we were together about 3 years before that. So for like 13 years now, we've been going to see Guar together. We love Guar. And I love how Guar has found a way to just kind of exist forever. They always pull in, people who have been a part of it to come back. And so, Guar, even sadly without Odoris, I don't think it's ever going to go away. And I love that. Blue Spanner is our moderator power. Oh, the wrench? Let me see. Let's see. Okay, while I'm here, Let's see. We'll go into the main chat. I'm looking at chat from a different area. I'm going to throw out wrenches to anybody who wants them. Let's see. Hey, let's give one to Lee. Lee's a moderator. Where's my mummy? Ariel's already a moderator. If anybody else wants one, you can be one. Oh, no. Okay, Mom, you're a moderator. There you go. Okay. Zigma, that's quite the collection. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, this is why I don't get involved in your conversations, because I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the board games, yes. And Zigma has a massive collection of his own. You should group stream with friends for the board games, though. Yeah, Zigma has a great game room and a game table. He's not a big like horror fan, but he does like horror games. So maybe we will. I don't know. Can't go wrong with Buffy. Buffy is my favorite show of all time. You can't see it in here because this is my office, but in my bedroom, I have a Buffy quilt that Danny got me on the wall. I have all the Buffy Funkos. I have all the books. I just got a new Buffy book. This is In Every Generation, and it's by Kendar Blake, who wrote Anna Dressed in Blood and the sequel. So I already love her as an author. I love Buffy. This is in the Buffyverse. So I'm really excited. I just got this to watch it, or not watch it, to read it and then do a review. I'm really hoping it's good. I adore Buffy. And I want to start doing, eventually, I want to do so much stuff. I never have time. But I do eventually want to do an all the gory details for every single episode of Buffy. I love Buffy. Hey, you lived in Washington, Lee. That's cool. You lived in Spokane, so you probably lived on Fairchild Air Force Base. Maybe. I know you were in the military. I don't remember which branch you were in. We lived on Fairchild Air Force Base, too. That's where my brothers were both born. So that's cool. Spokane's great. Becky Stoll, my bestie. Do you ever play Nightmare the board game with the VHS? I think that's one of the few horror board games we don't actually have. I really liked seeing it on Cinemassacre's board James, I mean. I know Danny's played it. We need to find it. If we don't already have it. I don't think we do, though. It's hard to find. The one sitcom I remember on ABC called Neighbors was about a family who are aliens. I do remember that. And living next door is a human family. One of the aliens is Doug Jones. That is crazy. I remember that. Brian Miller, absolutely. Lee is one of the nicest people on YouTube. And there are a handful of people that I go back to, like when we started Horror Addicts with, and that's Brian Barnes, Lee. It's almost kind of like, your graduating class. But yeah, a lot of us started around the same time. Emma from Spooky Astronauts, people, Nightmare Maven, people I remember from when we first started. And yeah, it's awesome. We go way back, and I love Lee. He's always been so supportive, and no matter how big his channel gets, he always has time to come here and say hi or watch one of my videos, and that means so much to me. Lee is incredible. NECA just came out with gargoyle figures, but what horror movie figures do you have from them? From NECA, I have a Sam from Trick or Treat. I do have a Jason mask. Those are the ones that come to mind right away. Ariel blocked one of my mummy messages. Oh, sorry. She probably didn't mean to. Can you have a wrench? Yes, you get a wrench. You get a wrench. Here you go, Mandy. With great wrench comes great responsibility. Don't block my mom. All right. Use this wisely. If anyone else wants a wrench, let me know. Dun dun. Evening, Brandon the Beldum. Good to see you. Where's your mom, Gory? My mom lives with my brother Zigma. So I guess she's hanging out with him and his girlfriend. Yeah. My mom is over about 45 minutes away. Yeah, there are a lot of horror games. I have more horror games, I think, than him, but he does have a lot of board games. Mr. Flickster and I are actually going to be doing a collab here very soon. He invited me onto his channel, so absolutely check him out, give him a sub, because we've got something really fun that we're going to start working on next week. Any thoughts on the Angels spinoff? So that's so funny because we got to check the time. Okay, so we're going till 38. Let's see if we have to wrap it up or if we can make it go longer. Our last check was 1,879. We're at 1,880. So we can add another 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and make it 340 just because it does make it easier. Or 840, I mean. I need a new post-it. Sorry, I'm disorganized. Here are my post-its. Okay, so we're going to change that to 840. Add another 5 minutes. So 845. We're going to 845 because we got another subscriber. So for every new subscriber we get, we will extend the stream by 5 minutes. So if you guys wanted to keep going, tell your grandma, your neighbor, your dogs. Dogs love me. Tell them to subscribe. Maybe they'll like it. So the Angel spinoff, when Buffy first came out, we did not get the WB in the town that I live in. And so I wanted to see it, but I had no access to it. Finally, after it had been out a while, there were VHS tapes that showed about half the episodes of the first season. And eventually they did, a collection of them from season 2 and then season 3. And that's all I had seen of Buffy. So I missed a lot of it. And there were also novelizations which I would read. And then I had the Buffy Watcher Guide. So I knew a lot about this show, but I'd never seen all of it. And then I met a friend when I was working at Hastings. We found out we both love Buffy. And she had a friend she met from a Xena message board who would send her VHS tapes of the show from California. And she ended up sending us VHS tapes of Buffy. So we had to go through a lot of trouble to see Buffy. And we would watch Buffy together. And then on one of the tapes, she threw on an episode of Angel, and it was a random episode from season 1, and I wasn't really digging it. It was a really strange episode. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer, because I didn't think I'd really like it. Well, years later, I was working at Hastings, and I'm young. I don't have kids or a husband. I have, my own income and money to burn and a free night. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to buy the Angel DVD and give it a shot. And I'm so glad I did because I absolutely fell in love with it. I love Angel, not as much as Buffy, but definitely a lot. I do have some issues with some of the things that happened on Angel. Like, I'm not going to talk about behind the scenes stuff, but I don't like what they did with Cordelia, and the storyline with his son Connor got weird. But even when it got weird, I still love it. I think David Boreanaz is incredible. And there's so many characters on that show that I love, but especially I think season 1 through 3 is just amazing. And I love that they brought back so many characters like Drew and Darla and did so much more with them. So yeah, it's absolutely, it's a companion to Buffy that I think you like Buffy. I don't see why you wouldn't like Angel. It's so good. And I know a lot of people who like Angel more than Buffy. So it's amazing. The Horror Geek popped in to say hello. Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming. And if you're not subscribed, do. For every new subscriber, we're going to extend this stream by 5 minutes. So, be part of that. I don't know. What are we going to call it? The Gory Train? You can be part of the Gory Train. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to mind. Maybe I'm ripping off Stew Train. Come up with something better. Gory and anyone in the chat checked out Shudder's Cursed Films. So I watched season 1, and then I saw that they just released season 2, and I think last I checked, they only had 1 episode of season 2. But my buddy Becky, who was in the chat earlier, she saw it and said it was really creepy, and she really enjoyed it. And I love those kind of shows that explore like the behind the scenes and real mythos behind movies. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Of course, never give up, never surrender. Thank you, Mandy. Mad love for you. Ariel, look, I'm sorry that keeping the chat not to say it out loud, Gory. Sorry that keeping this chat not to say it. Oh, no, it's okay. Smash that button. Thanks, Brandon. She's talking to my mother, not you. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Ben, I have the Gargoyles figures released so far. They are great. I miss Gargoyles so much. I really need to get that on like DVD or some kind of a collection because that's what I used to watch after school a lot. When I first moved to America, we didn't really have any friends or anything, so we'd watch like the Disney afternoon with like I think the original run was, and I started watching because they have Count Duckula, which was a show I watched when I lived in England. So that kind of helped me adjust to living in America because I really loved Count Duckula. And then we got into Tailspin and Darkwing Duck came along a little bit later. But yeah, eventually we ended up watching Gargoyles too, and it's really good. NECA made a Part 7 Jason Ultimate figure. Danny has that one. And what I love about NECA is they include like the different heads and weapons and accessories so you can always like liven it up. So never like if you're displaying it, it never has to look the same. And there's a petition for NECA to make a leprechaun figure. I think I showed it in my leprechaun video. I would love a leprechaun NECA figure where I could change out the head so he could have like sunglasses like he's in the hood, or he's got melty face, or he has a pogo stick. Oh, that would be incredible. What do you think of the Joe Bob season premiere? It was so good. I think when Honey and Darcy were singing, I was just smiling from ear to ear. It feels like when Joe Bob comes back, it feels like having a friend over. Like it feels like somebody you haven't seen in a long time that you love, and it just feels good and warm in your heart. And then there's the Mutant Fam on social media. So yeah, I'm so happy it's back. I look forward to it so much. I'm so excited for next week. Moody, half of everything, mostly of mine, and never had successful relationship is I don't probably talking to somebody else. Did I see the Scream TV show? I watched seasons 1 and 2, and I reviewed the first season over on Horror Addicts, and I liked those. Then they did a special that I haven't seen. Then they rebooted it, and I didn't watch it, but Danny did. He said it was actually really good, so I do need to finish that. Yeah, NECA's not making a leprechaun, Adam, but if you Google it. There's a change petition, like there's a petition to encourage NECA to make one. So sign that. We need a NECA figure. Do you think we'll get a Halloween 3 this season? Joe Bob and Darcy have said we're not going to. So probably not. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do it for the Halloween special. They've done a Halloween special every year in October, and that's in the off seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if Shudder brings it back if it leaves the site in during October for a Halloween special. That's what I think. I don't think it's going to happen in season 4 though, because they don't tell us something's not going to happen and then lie to us. So I don't think they're going to. Okay, let's see. What time is it? 8:41. So right now we're going to end at 8:45 unless we've got a new subscriber. We have no new subscribers. So, all right, we're going to end in 2 3 minutes unless we get a new subscriber. So I'm going to refresh again. Any new subscribers? No new subscribers. A leprechaun. Yes, Becky. I love Becky. If you guys follow me on Twitter, she made this amazing like spread of spooky snacks last night for Joe Bob. She came over to watch with us. She made lady fingers that look like lady fingers, like dead lady fingers, and she made this really gross cheese face with like bacon on it. It's so good. If you're follow me on Twitter, or if you do, check it out. I retweeted it. It was amazing. Yeah, Adam, nostalgia overload for sure. All right, 3 minutes. I'm gonna refresh. All right, I think we might be towards the end of our night. Thanks for the shout out. Absolutely. Good night, Mummy. Yeah, Mr. Flickster, he doesn't have nearly enough subscribers, and he produces great content. So if you guys want another horror channel to check out, he's one I highly recommend. Aw, shucks. I'll unsubscribe and then subscribe. No, because it'll still be 1,800. You guys could share it on Twitter or social media. I don't know. I don't know how to get more subscribers. If I did, I probably wouldn't have such a small channel. I feel bad because I know some of you guys want to keep it going. but we need another subscriber. Elisa probably subscribed. Elisa, did you subscribe? Ariel, have you subscribed from both of your channels? If you guys have other channels, you can make them subscribe, or other accounts. Can NECA make a leprechaun figure where Caroline Williams gets blown up? That would be cool. It would be cool. And not even just NECA, anybody. If they made one of Caroline Williams from Leprechaun 3 that you could somehow blow into to make it expand, that would be pretty rad. All right, I'm going to refresh again. No new subscribers, but honestly, like I am not complaining because we started out this stream. We had, I think we had 1,870. So I've gotten 10 new subscribers. I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me, and I've had so much fun hanging out with you guys. Like, you guys have so many great movies to talk about. We talked about video stores. You know, we've talked about a lot of awesome stuff tonight, and I got to know some of you a little bit better. And yeah, I've had a great time. Hopefully you guys have had a great time. I haven't even touched my beer hardly. That's how much fun I've been having. So that's awesome. I really enjoy these horror hangouts. So I'm gonna try to, it may not always be horror hangout. I'm gonna try to, unless I'm out of town or something, do a weekly stream Saturdays at 7 Pacific. So that'll be 9 Eastern. And then I also have a lot of streams coming up. So before I call it a night, I'm gonna let you guys know what I have coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Danny will be on the show, and we're going to talk about Joe Bob and the Last Drive-In. So that'll be tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, Craven Something Scary is going to come onto the show, and we are going to rank these Scream killers. And both of those streams are up on the channel, so you can go and set your reminders, and it would be awesome to see you guys there, just because I like hanging out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. All right, last refresh. No! Okay, all right, guys. It is 8:46. I have had so much fun hanging with you guys. You guys are incredible people. I hope to see you guys the next one. These are a lot of fun. We just get to hang out and think about what topics you want to talk about. If there's something you want to talk about that you want recommendations for, you know, bring it to me in the next Hangout stream and let's talk about it. All right, thank you guys so much. And until we meet again, blessed be.